I'm just sitting here in traffic right now, just reminiscing on the old times. Like how things just used to be. Like there are things that are, a part of culture now that once existed and just don't exist anymore. Like growing up, we had stuff like Blockbuster. Like I remember quite vividly my mom and my brother and my dad, on Fridays when we got out of school before the weekend started, we would go to Papa John's and get pizza, and right next to Papa John's was a Blockbuster. And my mom used to be like, since y'all been good or y'all got good grades, y'all can go into Blockbuster, get y'all a video game or get you like a movie, a Blu-ray, any sort of thing. And then I remember when Redbox came along, we kind of stopped going to Blockbuster, and Blockbuster then went out of business. And it was just kind of like Blockbuster just disappeared, like going out of business one day. And it's kind of like no one's ever talked about it since, which is honestly weird to me that no one's ever talked about Blockbuster ever again. Like they just don't bring it up. Do you know how good Blockbuster would be if it was around today? Like people are actually demanding more physical media, more, renting games, renting movies. The only thing is, do they even make DVD players anymore or like Blu-ray players? I haven't seen one of those in someone's house in years, I guess, because everybody just streams. But I remember, Redbox was around, and, same thing. It's a Friday or Saturday. We want to see this movie that just came out in theater. We would just go to the Redbox, get a movie. I think Redbox is still around, so they're not actually extinct. But I don't hear anybody saying we're going to Redbox anymore. They rather just stream or do this or do that. And it's just like, like that was a part of culture. Does anybody even remember Sears? Like Sears used to be in JCPenney or Macy's, and it was basically the modern day Best Buy, except for it had everything. It was like Bed Bath & Beyond and Best Buy all in one. Like I remember going into Sears and you would see the newest TV and washers and dryers, and you could get towels and things like that. Like Sears was a whole thing. It was kind of like its cousin Radio Shack. Even though Radio Shack doesn't exist and it was only electronics, like Radio Shack went out of business too. Circuit City's gone out of business too. It's like Best Buy, and I'm wondering like how has Best Buy maintained its status this long when Circuit City and Radio Shack and stuff, they're all gone. Like just parts of my childhood growing up or just parts of culture growing up are just gone. It's like technology has just taken them and just made them disappear. I remember Sears like it was yesterday. I even remember iPod Touches, iPod Nanos, and iPod, what are those that they call? I know it's iPod Nano, iPod Classic, like MP3 players. I've recently gone to Sony's website and I see that Sony has a Walkman that's like $1,000 for you to do stuff, but it basically has a screen like a phone and you tap around on it, and it's like, whatever happened to just like products and services that, like I said, were once a part of culture that are now are just gone. Like it just doesn't exist anymore. I really do miss the iPod Classic and iPod Nano. I'm actually about to order me an iPod Classic or an iPod Nano and move all my music to there, whether I pirate my music, sorry to say, but whether I pirate my music or, just drop everything on it. Like it's gotten to the point where, streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, like they'll put up music and shows and then out of nowhere remove it, and it's just like gone. It's just poof, gone out your library. You can't say you want to keep it. You can't do anything. And it's like, if you have the media, you should be able to keep it. And they kind of, instilled in us like, you don't really own anything anymore. Like that's another part of culture. Back in the day, like for instance, the Nintendo Switch 2 was just announced, right? And it looks like a great console, beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, everything seems great about it. And then they're like, we're raising our games from the price they used to be, which I have no clue what they were. I think they were like $60, to now it's $80 for a digital game. $80 for a digital game and $90 for a physical game. But get this, the physical game doesn't even have the game on the physical disc or the physical little chip. You have to buy the physical thing for $90, which comes with a code that allows you to then download the game on your Nintendo Switch. Like, how does that even work? How is the digital 80, but you get the physical, which isn't actually the physical, it's just another digital piece of media that allows you to digitally download the game, but that costs $10 more. Like, when I was, growing up, $60 for a game, that was like the culture. Like, you pay $60. Now games are $70. And apparently pretty soon, by June, when the Switch comes out, they're $80 to $90, bro. Like, why are you even selling the physical? If the physical doesn't even have the full game on it, you still have to go online and then download the game from the internet. Like, I'm just not understanding. Back in the day, I could go into GameStop, buy Modern Warfare 2, buy Halo 3, Halo Reach, plug it into my Xbox, put the disc in, and start playing the game immediately. I don't need to download any files or nothing. And that used to be so enjoyable, because I remember at one point, like, I played Modern Warfare 2 so much, and I was changing it out between that and Halo to the point to where my Modern Warfare 2 disc, the inner ring of like the disc actually broke. And I had to send it back to Treyarch or Activision, and they actually mailed me a brand new disc. Like, I remember, like, what is the point of my system nowadays even having a disc tray? Not my girl, she was my girlfriend at the time, she's not my wife. My wife bought me The Last of Us Part 1 because we really enjoy watching the show together. I put the disc into my PS5, and it says, oh, we're downloading the game for you before you can play. Why are you downloading the game? Why doesn't the game just start up when I put the disc in the disc tray? What is the point of the disc tray if the game has to download anyway? Another thing that's changed as part of the culture. When I was growing up and we would play games, not only did we have the disc, but if I decided that, my Wi-Fi went out, or I don't feel like playing online, I could play my game offline. My internet could jump off a cliff, get hit by a meteor, and I could still play my game offline. PlayStation recently went down. I bought Cyberpunk on my PlayStation digitally. It said when the servers went down, sorry, you cannot play Cyberpunk is a game that doesn't even have multiplayer. Why do I need online internet to be able to run the game that doesn't even have an online feature? My saved data is saved on my console. Start my game up. The game just would not run. It says, sorry, we can't read the license for your game. Yo, I bought the game digitally. It's downloaded to my console. The license should come with the game, so it can be read at all times. Not a single one of my games could be played. It's ridiculous. And then they've made it now to where, like, you basically have to have internet or Wi-Fi to even run the game. Like, you can't just turn on your system, start a game up with the disc. It doesn't exist anymore. It's crazy. It's like, and the culture shifted to where, like, I don't know, like, people complain and then they make it the new normal. Like, Nintendo doing this $80 and $90 games, people were already hesitant, like, yo, when GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be $100. And now Nintendo's like, we're going to get ahead of that. We're going to already change the curve. We're going to make our games $80 and $90. So if GTA comes out at $100, it's not even going to be shocking. But it's like, it feels predatory. Like, yo, like, if we want to play the game, we have to play pay $100. And I mean, yeah, I more than likely would pay 100, but I'm not paying 100 for every game. I'm not paying 100 for Call of Duty. This is actually, I told someone the other day, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. When the price of games start to go up to these astronomical prices, bro, it actually makes room for no competition, because only, like, there's some game developers who they can't even justify their game being $60, yet alone 80, yet alone $100, bro. And not only is it not $80 or $90, you add tax, you're paying probably almost 100. So you're gonna have companies who can't afford for their games to be $100. AAA game studios will be able to make their games $100. And once their games are $100, it's like, if the game is good, people will pay it. And then $100 becomes the norm, which is still predatory. But if the game is bad, it's going to make those type of companies just go straight out of business. And then guess what? There's no competition, because no one's going to take the time to drop a full $100 to test out a game to see if it's good. I don't know who would. I already have a hard enough time convincing my friends, hey man, let's try playing this new game for $70. Even, hey, I just saw this game that's been out, let's just try it. We haven't played anything new in a while. This game's $20 or $25. They're even hesitant about games like that. But now we have to try to convince friends or people who may not have heard of this title or that, hey, drop $80, drop $100 for this game. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, bro. We're being nickeled and dimed everywhere. Like, that's another part of culture that was different than me growing up. When I was growing up, things were set at prices to where, yeah, I had to save to, be able to afford Halo 3, which was $50. Yeah, I had to be able to save to afford, this item or this service, because it was a price. But now it's like, for what I'm saving my money for and what I'm getting less, because it's not like I'm actually owning the things. And then I'm paying double for what it costs now than what it did back then. Like, when games go to $80 to $90, bro, I could have gotten 2 games for that. Now I have to sacrifice and be like, I'm gonna choose one over the other. It literally makes no sense. Like, I don't know how the culture has shifted from the consumer's always right, the customer's always right, and we want you to be able to enjoy the experience, to like, let's nickel and dime you at every corner, and then let's produce a product that's like 90% of the games nowadays aren't even finished. They're not even complete. They're promising updates and to finish the game. Like, yo, don't put the game out, the game's not done. Then on top of that, I can't even play it offline. Then if I have the disc, it's literally a waste. Like, it's just literally e-waste. That's what it feels like. It feels like the disc is just waste. Like, I might as well take my disc and throw it in the street. What is the point of my disc? It doesn't serve any purpose. The culture's just shifted, and it's just like, people thought, oh, nostalgia, the games, we thought games were better back then because, we were kids and it was nostalgic. Or we thought those types of, Blockbuster and Sears were cool back then because we didn't know any better. No, like, this stuff was legitimately better. Like, you even have like BMW or Mercedes selling features that are already built into the car on subscription services, when it's just like, you paywalled a car for me to have heated seats in my own car. You're making it a subscription. Like, that's another thing that makes no sense. When you used to buy a car, you bought the car and everything that came with your car you bought. Now companies are trying to make it to where, like, Yeah, you bought it, but technically we own some of the features. We're not going to allow you to use the features of the car you bought. That makes literally no sense. Like, I spent $80K to buy a Mercedes. I expect my seats to be able to heat up when I turn on the heat. But now you're telling me I have to pay $10 a month for the heat package? Like, how far are we going? Pretty soon they're gonna start saying your car doesn't come with windshield wipers. You gotta pay $10 a month for them to actually swipe your windshield. Like, we're being nickel and dimed every corner. I don't know what's happening with the culture. I don't know where the times have gone. I don't know what the times going ahead are looking like. It's looking like everybody's just gonna accept this stuff. You'll own nothing and be happy. You'll pay for every little thing. You won't make that much money to be able to pay for this stuff, and you'll put a smile on your face and look capitalism in the eye and say, this is what I wanted. But it won't be me.